everybody joining in, a tremendous sound rolling around this famous old stadium. Wembley moments. Abide with me. Just listen to that. The supporters of Widnes and Hull Kingston Rovers have really done us proud this afternoon. As the two conductors depart, we can safely say that this huge crowd, and it's a sellout, round about 95,000 people, have stayed true to one of the great springtime sporting traditions. Well, off go cannon and ball. They've done a good job for us here today. Throughout all that, sitting alongside me here in the commentary box has been Eddie Waring, soaking up the atmosphere and preparing himself for what is a very big day for him, his last commentary on a Rugby League Cup final. After 30 years, that famous old voice we'll be hearing, well, not quite for the last time today. He's got another couple of commentaries to do, but well, there he is. Give him a wave, Eddie. Give him a wave. There he is.
What a great moment.
I didn't know you wore a cap like that when you were commenting.
Special occasion for you.
Where's the famous hat? That's what I want to know.
It's lying in wait.
Eddie, couldn't wish you more than I do. Have a very good match.
Thank you.
Eddie Waring, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there it is. What a magnificent start. I've seen finals galore. Some possibly match this, but this is a marvellous crowd. And the first view we have got that you are having the teams coming out with the chairman of Hull Kingston Rovers. A lot of money for this. The winners today will get £12,555 for the winners. And runners-up 6,555. But Wembley, well, there's only one Wembley. Doubt if it'll ever change. I know they'll possibly decide to do alterations to it, but the Rugby League crowd down from the north and the Midlands and the south, and of course they now play Rugby League at Highton. And it's for the 3-5 Challenge Cup. Alec Murphy with me. Alec, were you, when you were captain here, nervous at the beginning?
Well, I was just thinking what must be going through some of these boys' minds as they stand in the tunnel, the butterflies, and will be just niddling a little bit now. There'll be one or two good professionals who will not bother, but some of the younger boys will really be thinking about this game. They'll be immune to the 95,000 people who are listening to this game, but when they come out, it'll be a great atmosphere.
How nervous were your team, for instance, but assuming this is it?
Well, even now, just listening to the community hymn singing, that the butterflies do come back, and it does really affect you. And I think now, at this moment, is probably the worst time these players will go through all the match.
Right, well, no doubt Alec will have his comments to display for you when we really start off, which won't be long. You can see the tenseness in the team, both teams, the Hull Kingston Rovers, three-time Premier League Challenge Cup, which is what it's for. They won the cup just once. And are these tactics, do you think, keeping them waiting?
Well, I think Dougie Lawton will just be playing to the last psychological minutes. He believes that the first on the field, he'll get the biggest advantage. So he's last out of the dressing room. He'll give Len Case a little bit of time to think about what's going on, hoping that they'll be worrying a little bit, but I don't think they will be.
No, but it's interesting to think of the possibilities. It's the 80th Rugby League Cup final, the 46th at Wembley, and the very first away back in 1897. It was Batley who beat St Helens, but there was no Wembley in those days. And still they wait. Dougie Lawton just to the right. First Wembley was in 1929 when Wigan played Dewsbury 13-2. I didn't go to it. It's the one cup final I missed. My older brother had a little bike, and he came to London, and he was able to say that he had the pleasure of seeing the first Wembley. We've got amongst the guests we've got is a Harold Kershaw, 86 years of age. He's the Rugby League guest. It's 46th Wembley on the trot, and that's the lot. Here they come now. Well, the crowd now rising as at the moment, more red and white flags. Len Casey is the captain for Hull Kingston, and look, this is the Andy Gregory, Mike O'Neill, Brian Lockwood, well known, Eric Prescott, and Glyn Shaw, the red bandage, and the familiar waving still goes on. Are you going to make a forecast, Alex?
Well, I think this is going to be a very, very interesting game. It will be one of those games where whoever settles down in the early stages and takes the initiative will be in the driving seat. But I wouldn't like to say, if I was to stick my neck out, I just fancy Hull Kingston for the simple reason they was here last year, and I think they've got that little bit of class.
Yeah. Roy Holstock, and a minute ago I saw the captain, Mike Adams, David Watkins' son. One try. Phil Lowe, 9 tries, could be the real danger man. Loves to run and loves to score tries. John Middleton, 15, and Steve Crooks, Hull Kingston Rovers. They beat Barrow 18-13, first round. Second round they beat York. Third round they beat Salford 19-8. Well, the official party coming on with Sir Douglas Bader there. I had a word with him before the match, and he showed quite keen interest. And on the Widnes side, first round, they beat Doncaster 50 points to 0. Second round, beat Casper 7-5. And then in the third round, Featherstone Rovers, and then Widnes 17, Warrington 9. Semi-final, Widnes 17, Warrington 9. Steve Hartley, and having a word with Roy Holstock. Having a word, is quite enthusiastic about the match, was Sir Douglas. And the chairman will land behind. So I think they'll move across the red carpet in 80 minutes. Going to have the joy or disappointment that, and I don't think it'll be a draw, but you never can tell. The Earl of Derby assisting in the pre-match movements.
This is the time when the lads will be saying to all these cameramen, come on lads, hurry up, let's have you out of the way. This is the time when they've got to get their minds back on rugby league. The formalities will soon be over, and then it's down for the keeps.
Well, of course, it's meat, eat and drink so far as the cameramen are concerned, and the national anthem will soon be played and no doubt sung. Stuart Wright, he's got 14 tries, and Mick Burke, he's got 3 tries, 102 goals. And Mr. Elwell, who is a doter little fella, and a good footballer at the same time. Jerry Kershaw from Easy Mould, 8:37. Very, very good official indeed. So Douglas.
Well, I'm just looking at Sir Douglas going off now, and I wonder what must be going through his mind, whether he'd like to be out there with these lads in his day when he was a very, very good rugby union player, they tell me.
Chairman of the Rugby League will present a cheque for £1,000 to Sir Douglas Bader in aid of the International Year of Disabled People. Well, a very good moment, and no doubt Jack Maesco will be very happy of being able to fulfil that £1,000. So the music, by the way, is by the guns of the Grenadier and Welsh Guards. Alan Darby, MC, the president of the Rugby Football League. The Hull Kingston Rovers side. So there it is. Hall. So David Hall, the fullback, Steve Hubbard, Mike Smith, Gil Hogan, and Peter Muscott. I'll give you their tries in due course. Halfback Steve Hartley and Paul Harkin. Then the forwards, Roy Holstock, David Watkinson, Steve Brooks, Bill Lowe, special cheers for that, Chris Burton and Glenn Casey with Paul Proctor and John Millington, the subs. And Hubbard, the man who got the try last year, gets a very special welcome. He's kicked 96 goals and 23 tries so far this season. The Robins, they're known as. Number 5, Peter Bushcroft. He's 6 tries with OKR, 14 altogether. Roy Holstock. Number 3, Mike Smith. There is Big Phil Lowe. He'll be cracking at it very early on. 5 was Peter Muscroft. And Casey, the captain of the team. Goes forward, Glenn. Now then, the Widnes turn to be seen, to be cheered about. Special coat of arms. Burke, fullback. Stuart Wright, 14 tries. Mick George, 12 tries. Eddie Cunningham, 14 tries. Keith Bentley, 18 tries. The halfbacks, Hughes, 9 tries. Gregory, 7 tries. Mike O'Neill, 8 tries. Keith Helwell, 44 tries and 4 drop goals. He likes to do that. He'll probably do that again today. Ryan Lockwood, 4 tries. Les Goal is 65. Prescott, Eric Prescott, 3 tries. And Mick Adams, the captain, 6 tries. So that's the John Myler and Glyn Shaw. And last year's man of the match, Brian Lockwood. I talked to him last week and he was a very confident man, but he said, I'll still be a bit nervous. He was with Hull Kingston last Wembley. Alec.
Well, I think Brian Lockwood is the man which Hull Kingston will not have many friends today. They'll be proving that he's wrong, leaving Hull Kingston and going to Widnes.
What do you think the tactics will be?
Well, this is an interesting lad, and he's a big match player, Stuart Wright. Very, very fast, a very, very good player. And he's a man today who will have to be kept an eye on, and he'll be hoping that he gets a lot of early balls to settle down and get into the game and stamp his class on it.
The referee is Terry Kershaw from Easingwold, age 37, grade 1 referee for 12 years, and passed his exam at 18. And he is a very thorough man indeed, whether he's refereeing or playing or what, but he's managed to get a smile from one of his colleagues. You didn't do a lot of smiling, did you? Well, that's a lovely sight. You see it all there. A magnificent picture, that. And the crowd now just ready to open up. Is there a lot of wind, do you reckon?
Well, it's swirling about a little bit. It's really an ideal day for rugby league. There's a little bit of give in the ground. The lads look superbly fit. Both sides have turned out immaculate, and they'll just be worrying now which way this game's going to be played, and it'll be very interesting because the man in the middle there, Mick Adams, who will have a lot to do with this game. He'll be directing play, putting the ball down the field, and I'm sure that Widnes will want him to get an early touch of the ball.
Well, you can see the flags right to left. The teams change ends, and I notice that from our timekeeping, at any rate, that there's over 3 minutes before the kick-off will take place. Already gone, and whether that is in keeping with Wembley starting times. There's Brian Lockwood. Nick Burke, good footballer. You're going to be pleased with him. And off we go for the important cup final. First knock on, and the movement that came off, and Alec Murphy was saying the tactics.
Well, this is what it starts. Peter Muscroft, you'll not be very pleased about that. He was a nice ball for him to take, and he put it down.
Widnes defending in their 5th final in the last 7 years, and an early start is very important. A very good start, of course. 25 yards line. That was a rare old rollicking tackle. You felt that, didn't you?
That's what you call a real cruncher, but this is what you'll find, and this is what this little lad will do and all. Playing third half, what a beautiful little kick that was.
Paul Harkin.
This is the lad who Hull Kingston put a lot of faith in, and he's only 5 foot, he's as small as Roger Millwood, but what a barrel of dynamite this little fella is.
Jack Woodward, the chairman of the Widnes Club, unfortunately can't be with us through illness, but all his friends and followers send him good wishes and for a speedy recovery. The wind is a crosswind coming from stand to stand, the Royal box end. Hull Kingston putting on early pressure, having got hold of away from the early troubles. "25 yards line, that's 25 yards from the try line. Steve was quickly chopped down by Stuart Wright. And a penalty. Alex?
Well, as you can see in the early part of the game, there's a little touch of nerves from both sides, and both sides angling at this moment is not up to standard. But this is how your final League Cup finals go. In 5 or 10 minutes, they'll settle down and everything will be back to normal.
Nick Burke, big match occasion, and he's a very good thinking footballer, and some of the matches we've had this season have been very effective in all he's done. Nick Burke, incidentally, ex-Waterloo Rugby Union. But whilst the tactics and the pace and the movement is still going, with Keith Elwell chasing away, what a little footballer he is. Taken by David Hall. There's another lap. There's a chance for Mick Burke. He's kicked, he's following up, he's going to bounce out, it's going to be a try, it is a try! Yeah! 3 minutes gone, and Mick Burke.
Well, what a dream start. A quick play the ball from Widnes. A lovely ball right along the line. A beautiful ball from Eric Prescott. And watch this Burke. A beautiful little grubber kick, a lovely bounce, and there's no way this lad's not going to score. What a dream start for Widnes.
Well, we were just talking about this fellow. We're going to have great admiration for him, and he certainly proved what we suggested might happen. He's ex-Waterloo, full international, and his best performance, 8 goals versus Castleford. Well, there's the distance. You can just see the uprights. No doubt a little painful at the moment for Hull Kingston Rovers fans, but it's a long way to go. Mick Burke kicking, but they haven't got it, so it's...
Well, this is it again. Watch this play the ball. A lovely play the ball, a quick play the ball, and it moves through 6 pair of hands. There's some lovely passing here, and they have men queuing up outside. This is a beautiful ball from Eric Hughes, and really, if you watch this picture, Burke has no need to kick. The covers give up, he's past the cover, and what a lovely bounce. But there's no way he's there, and he'd be very disappointed he's not kicked the goal as well.
Well, Burke has scored in every match so far this season, and there he goes and scores in the final. Every cup match, of course, I'm referring to. Goes right. And I would just reckon that Wright is a gift try scorer. Any chance he has a go at, although he was injured in the early part of the season. Scrum down. There's Rockwood.
This is going to be very interesting today, who gets the ball, because Dougie Lawton is concerned that he's not been getting all the ball, and he'll want a lot today.
That was a real strong effort by Phil Lowe, but not exactly pleased with what had happened, and they explain it to Steve Hubbard. Well, behind the post it looks very easy, but they're only easy when they go. They're not necessarily easy when they're straight in front. But ex-Hull and East Riding Rugby Union, 366 points last season. The score 3-0. Chance for 2 points. Very happy start for him. Hull Kingston 2, Widnes 3, and he has also scored in every round in the final, so really warming up.
Well, that's what Hull Kingston really wanted. They had to reply to Widnes' fantastic start, and really it was a silly penalty for a little bit of an impetuous tackle by Eric Hughes, but Widnes and Hull Kingston now are back nearly on level terms.
2-3, well taken by Phil Hogan. Pace just looks as if it might be just fade in, but not to any degree, because sudden bursts, and of course both teams are very, very fit. Hold stop, and in touch, flag up. Mr. Greenoff, Mr. Barrow, the touch judges. And their title, John. Scrums being taken by Hull Kingston. 4-1. That's going to be very valuable. Referee going to do and say. He's been talking to Hughes, and
well, we we've already had words with Eric once, and it's really a bad way to keep giving Riddick. She just one of these high tackles. He definitely goes high. Watch Eric. Boom, right round, no problems. Mr. Kershaw will say, cut that out, otherwise he'll be walking.
Well, Phil Lowe is having quite a match so far, one way or another. 9 minutes gone. First half, 3 points to 2. Woof. Well, that was all right. I don't suppose he'd think so, but he stood it well. Then Casey. See Hartley. A long pass trying to cut the man out. We're losing. Not losing the ball. And it's a clear 6 tackle. On the ground, about 20 yards away, Steve Crook. They've been attended to, so the game will continue. Only, what, 10, 15 yards away. Little Harkin, a break. Gaze passing. It's being dropped. Ryan Lockwood saved that moment, at any rate. Good little fella, well.
Well, the little ferret, and he makes ground every time he gets the ball, and they'll have to keep a close, careful check on him, and they'll also have to keep a check on this little fella. They're not going down there.
Yes, and they're not letting him go, so penalty given, and rightly so. Burke, quite a good career. Quite a few of these players, of course, have come from rugby union, but in the olden days, there was very rare a player from Widnes played with any club but Widnes. Pace slackened, but I don't think that will be for long. There's goalie. One of the Cambrians in the side, and a drop pass, a drop ball, and knock on, but advantage.
Well, is this the Wembley nerves? Eric Prescott has had a couple of balls and put them both down, and it's not good for forwards to lose the ball in certain positions. I think it's just a fraction of nerves.
I thought as we walked on the ground about 3 hours ago that it was in pretty good condition. It seems to be standing up well so far. Philo. Seem to be bunching to Hull Kingston Rovers. A chance of interception. Advantage lost. Play on, says the referee, Dave Hall. Paul Harkin. Roy Holstock. And Lang Casey. And the score 3 points to 2. In case you've just come in from whatever. Yes, almost, but still got the passing. The football. Casey. A nice little dummy, almost a Your old mate there, Doug
He's not
Lawton?
saying his prayers, he's
You
deep
sure?
in thought, he's meditating a bit, and Dougie's had that a few times. He's quite used to that.
I didn't know they did that in rugby, meditate. But they do
Yes, we do a
practice.
little bit of meditating now and again.
There. Mick Adams. O'Neill. A lot of endeavour. Not a lot of finish at the moment. Oh, a nice one. Well taken, well tackled. It was on Stewart right. And Muscroft did it. Well, just nicely taken. Big George. And up and under by Adams. Which way is it going to bounce? It's going to beat them all. But it was worth having a go at it.
Well, that was a very, very good kick by Mick Adams. It was tantalising, it hung in the air, and if the bouncer had come back, I think it could have been 5 points. This is the man that Widnes are looking to. He's always thinking, he tries things different, and he keeps the men on the move all the time.
15 minutes gone, Oakington Rovers 2, Widnes 3. And now Roger Millward, looking a bit pensive, then it's hard being on the touchline for a player like Roger.
I think you'll find out that he'll go through 40 cigarettes on that bench, and he'll not smoke them, he'll finish up eating them.
Well, he certainly really plays a game on his own. There's a chance. Burton. A bit of bunching going on, Ali.
Well, there's not a lot of backing up, and you're finding that the forwards are going in ones and not supporting the man, and this is why we're getting so many drop balls, because they're so hard tackling that they can't lay the ball off to anybody.
The score is 3-2 and well taken by Mike Smith, but well dropped at the same time. Saw a glimpse of Mike Smith, which didn't seem to have a number on. We may have. We'll have a look at it. A good effort down the middle. Hooker. Mike O'Neill. They gave notice of that kick, and it came off. Mike Adams off the left leg. And a good run. The crowd wanted something to cheer about. Pace had just dropped a bit, but I think it's only temporary.
I think which we need now is Old Kingston, who need to move this ball out. This is the kind of play which they like. Moving the ball wide. Not in that fashion, but they normally have this kind of situation where you have Hartley standing wide and move the ball out wide.
Well, it was a knock-on, quite clear. I'm sure you saw it. Widnes won their first round against Doncaster, 50 points to 0. Then just beat Castleford. A lot of Castleford fans here. They're taking man for man, and not a lot of penetration evident, but could soon be. Stuck. Did a good pass, but a well-taken tackle. Still low. Takes two to put him down. And the tackle. The two was Cunningham and Gregory. Well, Rovers have been taking the scrums 5-1, which should give them a big advantage at the moment.
Well, this is what Dougie Lawton was frightened of. He said he was a bit concerned that he wasn't getting quite enough ball, and maybe because young Mike O'Neill is a young boy, and that number 8 position really wears you down.
There was a chance of an overlap, but not taken. Eric Prescott seem to be cancel each other out. Mike O'Neill, and we have the feeling that suddenly something might burst, and which side it would come from, well, then you think and say, well, they're a tackling side, and particularly Widnes are very strong. 20 minutes gone. Ready to go. McAdams. Big tackle. Elkingston Rovers 2, Widnes 3. Just one try after 3 minutes, and well taken. He's lost the ball. Oh dear. Wow, that was dangerous. Widnes in possession. This could be the moment. Brian Lockwood. Position on the ground that he likes to be, and the touch judge is on. Talking to, I think it's against David Watkinson, Mr. Greenout in the Cerise jersey.
He'll look at him, he'll say, no, not me, but you'll find there's just a little... Watch this, a little bit of boom, get in there. But
well,
good decision by the touch judge. He saw that, and not a lot of people on the terrace who did say that. Brian's a good professional. He'll play that to the hilt.
I think that they'll know that that bit of air at the top.
Well, I think that this is a very important kick for Mick Burke, and you find that this fella doesn't miss these many.
Mick Burke score 3-2. I shouldn't think there'll be a lot of trouble for him to kick this one as the sunshine. And the crowd having their little say. And it's there. 5-2, and the flags are waving. Dougie Lawton, no doubt, happy, and Mr. Tobin.
Well, I think this is what Dougie wanted, and that was a very important goal. And at the moment, this game is not being played like both sides want it to play. There's a lot of mistakes, and if you make mistakes like that in a cup final, they could work out very costly.
Well, it's certainly vital points. Long one. Paul Harkin. Seems to be a little slipping quite often. I don't know why. The ground looks pretty good. He got out of that all right. Brian Lockwood has been around the rugby league scene for quite a while. Been to a number of clubs.
He's a very, very good professional, Brian Lockwood, and if you'll just notice, he's assisting Mid-Adams with moving the ball out, some short balls, and him and Mick Adams are just taking it in turns.
Penalty against Phil Hogan. And just a little awareness that Elkingston Rovers are not quite getting the feel of the match as they will no doubt give them half a chance, because they're a good side. And penalties to Widnes, 4-1. Good passing. Almost got himself into trouble, but managed to keep the ball. Cunningham, well known in rugby league circles. Blonde Eric Prescott. Oh yes, good. People who say, well, give us the score. Well, it's 5-2, and a chance, more than a chance, a try. A very good try indeed by Mick George. No wonder. 8 points to 2. What is
Well, this is a beautiful ball. Watch Mick Burke, he draws the man out, quick play the ball, very vulnerable on this side, but just watch how Burke turns his body. And Mick George, there's a lot of work to be done here, and once he sees the whitewash, he's going one place, right under the H's.
Well, that's a pleasing sight for him. Elkington Rovers 2, Widnes 8, and the try, so important, 8-2. Mick George, 12 tries before today, and none as precious as that. More than 200 games for Widnes. Well, let's have a look at it from behind the posts. Quite a reasonable easy shot for him, for his ability of goal kicking. The flags are up. Double figures.
Well,
10-2.
here we have it again. It's a very, very vulnerable side, this. They're playing on this side. And just watch, 2 quick play the balls again. Mick Burke does exceptionally well here. Turns his body, Mick George beats 2 men. He's going for the line, and there's no problem once he's in the clear. A very, very good try, and a very important try.
That picture showed the business of the cover not being quite as good as it has been.
Well, it seems to me as though they're playing on Phil Hogan's and Peter Muscoff's side, and they're finding a lot of gaps with quick play the balls. And Mick Adams is moving out wide and causing a lot of this trouble.
Well, what can we expect? Because 10-2 is in a cup final is quite a handsome lead. But with 13 minutes to go to half-time, trying to go would put a different complexion on the game. Wagner, of course, he was okay outscored. And the songsters from Widnes having a little musical session. Keith Elwell, Eric Prescott. Adams, it's not going to go into touch. 25-yard line, position.
Peter Muscoff will be pleased about that, because that's the first ball he's held during this game, and it's very, very important that he gets back into this game to restore his confidence. Old Kingston need a score as quickly as possible, because if they go behind at half-time, they're going to be in big trouble.
Yes, that's what I was saying a few minutes ago, that the score at half-time can be so vital for the rest of the match.
Well, this game and this pitch tends to drag every inch of energy out of you, and it's like climbing Mount Everest, but 10-2 down, and it'll seem as though you are climbing it. If they must get a quick score.
Yeah. Well, you'll be able to see whether they do or they don't. Just looking at the players at the moment, just looking not quite as confident, and of course 10-2 is a pretty useful lead for your opponents to have. Steve Hubbard, he's one of the men, but particularly him could change the complexion of the game. We've got a touch here, John. Mr. Barrow.
This is a very interesting thing where Jerry Kershaw's standing now. Phil Lowe has committed a little bit of a mistake by walking back with the ball. He could have gained another 5 yards by staying where he was, but he's cost Hull Kingston 5 yards by walking back and seeing what the referee was going to give.
Steve Hubbard. Score 10-2. Challenge Cup final, the most coveted trophy in rugby league football. As you look at that, it looks much easier than it probably is. It's quite a distance, 25, 30, 40 yards almost. And Steve Hubbard, with the previous success was his, takes his time. It's what I call a flapper, but it's a flapper that brings 2 valuable points.
Well, that was a very important goal, and he just stroked the ball. It just didn't look as though it was going to carry, but it's give the Robins and the red and white fans behind the goalpost something to cheer about, because he was getting a little bit downhearted.
10 minutes to half-time, Hull Kingston Rovers 4, Widnes 10. And we just had 2 tries. Well, Reggio will be hoping that Norman. He's got a sort of a quizzical look about him.
Well, he's obviously thinking to himself, I wish I was on the park. It's a lot easier playing than thinking about it on the bench, but I think he knows what this game is all about. He knows that Hull Kingston need another score, and he's just hoping that they can do it before half-time.
.25 yards line. Widnes, just to remind you of their team, with Burke full-back. Wright, George, Cunningham, Bentley, Hughes and Gregory. LKR, Hall full-back, 3/4, Hubbard, Smith, Hogan, Muscroft, and halves Hartley and Harkin. The referee looking very serious about the offence. Got kicked by Hubbard. Seems a little bit more purpose from Hull Kingston at the moment, Alex.
Well, if you look at Hull Kingston, they know they need a score. They've got to score before half-time, but they're still not supporting the man with the ball as well as they should do.
Right, that was a hard tackle. 2 players on the ground. Well, one got up, one's still on. And the referee is giving a penalty. Going to mark his spot. David Watkins' son. Kick being taken. The flag is up. I don't know whether I'm seeing this a little different, but the pace doesn't seem to be all that good in the last.
Hull Kingston seem to be flagging a little bit. You've got young Cooks, and whether he's feeling the pace of this game, it takes a lot out of him. It's his first final, and he's not getting to the game as much as what some of the more experienced forwards is, like this fella.
And I had him on the grandstand the other week, and he was saying this was the sort of match he revelled in, the sort of football he revelled in. He's certainly doing just that now. Score 10 points to 4. And 6 minutes to half-time. There he is. And I was talking about, obviously, the last spell now before half-time is going to be harder, probably faster. Realising going in the dressing room well down is no joy for anybody. So it's 10-4. Gonna have a drop. Gonna have a drop. And he carries down. Well, out of the blue.
Well, this is the man who everybody expected to do it, and does it when he mattered. This is a tremendous drop goal, all of 35-40 yards. Bang, watch this, and there's no doubt where it's going. What a great player this fella is. He leads his side, he pushes people forward, and that was a very, very good drop goal indeed.
Mick Adams, the captain. And pushes it well down into the opponent's quarters. Well, during the week there was a bit of a scare about Mick Adams, but like all the Widnes players at this moment, they're playing it very hard, taking the chances. Let's go away. Widnes had a good win at Featherstone in the third round. Mick Adams. And even the trainer's bench is looking fairly quiet, phlegmatic. 4 minutes to half-time. Oh, yeah, here he goes again, Speller George. Those are the ball, but he's appealing against it, but the referee's given it.
This Mick George, he seems to be causing a lot of trouble when he runs with the ball. He's a very, very strong lad, and a lot of people lie off him, which they shouldn't do, because once he starts running and he lifts his knees up, he really goes for the line.
Well, a useful ball possession at this position they're in. Dangerous, a long one in that area could bring disaster. But it's still 11-4 and 3 minutes to half-time. I was just thinking that I hadn't seen Phil around in this last.
Well, he's got to get in this game more than what he is doing. He had a very, very quiet semi-final. He's certainly not putting his authority on this game at the moment.
A couple of nice side steps by Keith Bentley. And the penalty in the wars at the moment are Kingston. Paul Harkin. Well, it's getting very close to half-time. 2 minutes, in fact. I don't think there'll be a lot of scoring before then, but there'll be a lot of talk in the dressing room. I'm sure of that. Yes. Brian Lockwood. Oh, good break. But a forward pass.
You can see Widnes' tactics now. They're gaining with confidence. They're using Mick Adams, they're using Les Gawley, and they're really throwing the ball to every man on the field. And the forwards are making a lot of ground, and all it needs is just one break before half-time, and it could be curtains.
When you think the Rovers are taking the scrum 6-2. The score is 11-4 against. It's rather interesting speculation, but they get the ball. Steve Hartley, they want to try the goal before half-time, and it'll be a much happier lot of lads. Ah, nice cheeky dummy, well supported. Pillow. This is a moment. There's a chance for a cover here if he bounces. All right. Well saved indeed. Steve Hubbard. But the chance of position is there. Going to have to go on his own. Chris Burton. I don't know whether there's sufficient support, turning back inside, and he's in with a chance to fill low. Then into injury time, 6 tackle coming up, and showing a lot of urgency. And the hoot. Did I hear the hooter? Yes, I think I did. And at 11-4, goes out.
Well, that was a very, very good first half as far as Widnes are concerned, and I think Dougie Lawton will certainly go into the dressing room and tell the lads, just carry on with the game. Brian Lockwood, who's had an exceptionally good game in the first half, very cool, very calm, and a very, very good professional. I think Roger Millwood has got to go in and explain to the old Kingston players they're losing far too much ball and they're not supporting the man. But I think he will put that right with his team talk at half-time.
Half-time score 11-4. So Elkins Rovers 4, Widnes 11. Back to Frank Goff.
Thank you very much indeed, Eddie. Well, we'll have you back down below for the second half of the match, and in just a moment anyway, we'll also bring you full news of today's football matches. But before any of that, we're going to our newsroom for further report of that hijack.
Well, the latest information that we have on the hijacked Aer Lingus plane is that it's on the ground still at Le Touquet in France. The plane, flight number EI-164, left Dublin this morning, bound for London, where it was due to land at 1:45. It went instead to Le Touquet, where apparently the aircrew have filed a flight plan for Tehran. There are 103 adults on board, 5 children and 6 crew. Reports say that a man burst into the cockpit just as the plane was about to land in London. A group calling itself the Third Secret of Fatima says it's responsible and is calling for publication of a series of demands which aren't yet known. From its title, the group appear to be an Islamic sect. Anyone wishing for further information about the hijack should phone Dublin, which from Britain is 0001 379900. I'll repeat that, 0001 379900. Our next scheduled news on BBC One is at 6 o'clock. We'll go back now to Frank Boff at Wembley.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, now then, with Aston Villa looking for one elusive point to give them their first championship since 1910, things are not actually going their way at the moment. Arsenal, I hear, are now 2-0 up. Willie Young, when we first gave you the news, he got the first goal, and then McDermott has got the second for Arsenal, so Arsenal lead Aston Villa at the moment by 2-0. Well, now then, Middlesbrough-Ipswich is 0-1, and Ipswich's goal scored by Paul Mariner. And, of course, if both those matches end up that kind of result, then the race for the championship should go on for another 14 days. Well, now then, what are we doing now? I think we're going to David Icke for a full roundup of news.
And let me confirm straight away then, it's Arsenal 2, Aston Villa, and that is a half-time score. Now, as Frank said, Willie Young after 12 minutes, McDermott got the other. Birmingham 1, Everton 1. Brighton 1, Leeds 0. That's Steve Foster for Brighton after 31 minutes. Brighton desperately needed to win that to stay in the First Division. And Leeds are down to 10 men after Neil Firm was sent off after previously being booked. Liverpool 0, Sunderland 1. What a magnificent half-time score. Not yet half-time, but latest score, that is, for Sunderland. They too need to win to stay in the First Division. Stan Cummins got their goal after 31 minutes. Manchester City 1, Crystal Palace 0. Middlesbrough 0, Ipswich Town 1. As Frank said, Paul Mariner after 35 minutes. And at this stage in the afternoon, Ipswich still in the championship race. Norwich 1, Leicester City 2, and Norwich, already third from bottom, will be relegated if that score doesn't change. Mick Maguire, after 24 minutes for Norwich, pulling one back after Jim Melrose scored twice for Leicester after 19 and 22 minutes. It's Nottingham Forest 1, Coventry 1, Stoke City 1, Wolves 1. That's Paul Bracewell for Stoke after 25 minutes. Ray Evans, an own goal for Wolves after 21 minutes. And down there at the bottom, it's West Bromwich Albion 2, Tottenham 0. Alistair Brown after 8 minutes for West Bromwich Albion, Peter Barnes after 35, and even worse for the FA Cup finalist Tottenham, they had defender Graham Roberts carried off on a stretcher after a collision with Cyril Regis. Well, now we can get a report from Arsenal, from John Motson on the half-time situation, which is Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 0.
Which means that with Ipswich leading at Middlesbrough, the championship at this stage of the afternoon is right back in the melting pot. And the man who's really called Aston Villa out here is 19-year-old Brian McDermott, playing on the Arsenal right this afternoon. After 12 minutes, he laid on the first goal for Willie Young following a free kick. Young's shot beating the diving rimmer into the far corner. And then with a minute to go in the first half and Aston Villa looking uneasy, Arsenal broke away again. Peter Nicholas hammered the ball downfield following a Villa corner, and McDermott, outnumbered 2 against 1 by the defenders, never mind the goalkeeper, beat the lot and made it 2-0, and Villa are in all sorts of difficulties. They haven't been allowed to impose their rhythm on the match. Arsenal, as you might expect, motivated by Don Howe, are playing awfully well and are 2 goals up.
What an interesting situation that is. Well, it's an interesting situation too in the second division, because I can tell you it's Chelsea 0, Notts County in second place 1. That's Trevor Christie after 15 minutes. And if that stays the same, Notts County will go up to the first division today for the first time since 1926. Preston North End 0, Swansea City 2. That's Leighton James after 24 minutes, Tommy Craig after 27. And if that score stays the same, then Swansea City will be in the first division for the very first time tonight. Well, that's the football. Now some racing news. At Newmarket, there was a photo finish in the first Colt Classic, the 2,000 guineas, which showed that the 5-2 favourite Two Agori Moo got up in the final 100 yards to beat 50-1 chance Mataboy by a neck. Bell Belied at 14-1, 1.5 lengths away, was third.
Well, back here at Wembley, let us ponder on the first half of the 1981 Rugby League Cup final, with Widnes leading Hull Kingston Rovers by 11 points to 4. Alex Murphy, is that a fair reflection during the first half?
Well, I think on the first half's play that Widnes deserved to be in front. I think there's more method with the play, and the forwards are doing the job required of them. Hull Kingston look a little bit lapsed and are not supporting the man with the ball.
Lots of one-to-one things, right? You know, very close one-to-one marking. Very
well, Widnes are obviously a very professional side, and Hull Kingston like moving the ball out wide, and because Widnes are keeping him in the middle of the field, they're not doing this.
Always well in a Rugby League Cup final to see a very early try, and Mick Burke got a very good one early on, didn't he?
Well, it was a dream start, this, and it all starts from a quick play of the ball. It's played now, and it moves through 6 pair of hands here, and it's really 2 good balls. There's a good ball here come from Eric Preston, and the ball from Eric Hughes is a real cracker. Burke almost beat the cover without kicking, but the bounce is a perfect bounce, a lovely little chip, and what kind of a start can you have better than that?
It really was excellent, wasn't it? Well, there were a couple of penalties after that, and Widnes went into the lead 5-2, and then a very good try by Mick George.
Well, this again starts on the same thing, same play of the ball, and Burke does exceptionally well here. He uses his body, he turns, and Mick George has got a lot of work to do here. He beats 3 men. The cover was a little bit lapsed with Hull Kingston, and I think Roger will be going at this moment and saying we'll have to tighten that up if we've any chance at all.
Very similar kinds of tries, except that one went outside and one came inside in the end.
Very similar, and both played on the same wing. Whether they think there's a weakness there, Dougie Lawton will be shouting instructions off the bench, and we'll soon find out the second half.
Well, Widnes are clearly finding their way through there on those 2 occasions. I mean, what have Hull Kingston Rovers got to do? I mean, have they come anywhere near, do you think, cracking the defence?
Well, they've got to support the man better than they are doing, and they've got to have a quick score, because if Widnes get another score, there could be big trouble, and it could be a tremendous score.
Fine. Well, talking about trouble, thank you very much indeed, Alex, for those comments. We always get into a great deal of trouble unless we let you enjoy the band on this great occasion at Wembley. And outside we have the crowd being entertained by the massed bands of the Grenadier, Irish and Welsh Guards. Before we go back to Eddie Waring, let's have a taste of the music.
Well, there's Brian Lockwood having a very good match. Just to remind you of the situation and the scores: 11 points to 4, 2 tries, a try by Mick Burke and by Mick George. Those of you who've only just tuned in, as it were, just before half-time, Hull Kingston Rovers produced their best football, but didn't quite make it. At the moment, that would have made a lot of difference so far as the situation's concerned. But 11-4, Alex.
Well, I'm just wondering what Roger Millwall's instructions have been. They must have been saying to them, come on lads, we've got to score, we've got to get back in this game, and we've got to put more efforts into it, because if Widnes just happen to score again, I think they've got big problems.
Well, it's I think a fairly summing up that one or two of the people who would agree with Alex on this. No changes, by the way. So in all cup matches, particularly of course this one, the dark shorts on the left of Widnes. Did we get a measure of the wind, different to the first half?
I think the wind is more or less still now. The flags are just fluttering a little tiny bit. But as you see, Mick Adams will play this tactical game. He'll keep playing in the Hull Kingston half, knowing that they've got to come full length of the field to score tries.
Well, Hull Kingston Rovers, who have contributed a lot to rugby league football, but since last Wembley, we don't remember that, I'm quite sure, they lost 3 key players, of course. Mill Ward, who retired, Alan Agar, he was transferred, and Brian Lockwood, he also moved. But again, the sort of thing that's been happening, the ball coming loose when a pair of good strong hands would have maintained possession, and results in an attack now being made by Widnes. In the last 2 years they've been very much a force in rugby league football. This is the break, and the support, and the try. This is the break, and the 2 minutes into the second half, and the Gregory 14 points to 4.
What a magnificent try this is. A lovely little ball off Mick Adams here, but watch this for a young boy. This boy's going places. What a lovely little jink. One past one man, and he's going. He'll be pleased about this. What a tremendous try. Andrew Gregory, a big future for this boy, and no wonder after stuff like that.
Well, there it is, and a fantastic try. He is, like I said, a very, very good young footballer. He's going to be in a lot of honours before he's very much older. Gone, Mick Burke. It should be easy, and it is easy, and it's 16 points to 4.
Well, even that's not pleasing, Dougie, but he must know deep down inside. But watch this ball again. Who's the general? It's Mick Adams. He switches direction. Watch this, a little dummy back inside. But watch this for a young boy. One lovely little sidestep here, a lovely little jink, and he leaves them for dead. What a wonderful try, and thoroughly deserved.
Well, they got a try in the first half after 3 minutes, and then in the start of the second half after 2 minutes, and the score 16 points to 4. So, what are we going to see at Wembley now? It's going to be something right out of the book. If Hull Kingston Rovers can get on top, but at the moment scoring at the right moment being so evident, and they're having a little tussle on their own. Keith Elwell, they're going like a little torpedo. Really goes into the game and everything he does. Spread out, Widnes has spread out. Oh, interception might have been. Instead, the support is there. There's 3-2. The tacklers are running around to give support, and the touch judge is on. The touch judge is on, and we've got Andy Gregory injured. Well, they were explaining all that away. There's the injured players getting attended to. Ben Casey. Yellow card for all that.
Well, it was a little bit of a late tackle, and Len Casey seemed to come in late. Personally, I didn't see the incident myself, but the touch judge, who was stood in that side of the field, had no hesitation. He came on, and this again is a needless mistake, and if Widnes keep going further and further ahead, and Kingston need bigger and more urgency.
Had a lot of movement surrounding that effort. Mick Burke. 16 point. There it is, the flags are up. Six minutes gone in the second half, and it looks now at 18 points to 4. There it is, as we predicted.
Well, I don't know whether we predicted it or not, and certainly it's making my prediction look pretty sick from up this part of the world, but Old Kingston now have really got to show that they've got a little bit of composure. They've got to settle down if they hope of any chance of getting back in this game, because Widnes are growing in confidence and they're throwing the ball all over the field.
Well, of course, the good start that they had been followed up at intervals were most important, and the touch judge is right. Now David Watkinson, the touch judge on this side, he was having his little say. Well, there's Gary Kershaw from Easywold, and he's having a good match, I reckon. I think he said that he wanted to have a great final and be happy. Well, certainly, talking from one side point of view, Widnes fans will endorse that. But can Hull Kingston Rovers fight back? Would you make any tactical moves or anything if you were in charge?
Well, I'd certainly start looking to bring the substitutes on, because Phil Lowe, for me again, is faded out of this game. We're seeing very little of him, and Roger Millwall would certainly think about using this substitute, because at the moment it's badly needed.
And I was going to say, and there's just another indication of the sort of football the Widnes are playing, and Well, 187 consecutive games for Widnes. What a great record. Well, the ball is being moved well. Chris Burton. Well, that's straight in. Alex
Well, just looking at one or two of the old Kingston forwards, and you see Phil Lowe just arriving at the pack. This is what happens when you get behind. He's just about to get into the pack now, but he's looking very, very sluggish. And one or two of the old Kingston forwards are really walking across the field very, very tired indeed.
And certainly want to break the Rovers if they're going to get back into this match. No doubt Widnes very confident. 3rd minute try, 25th minute try, and 2 minutes second half. Well, that was good regular stuff. Ah, yes. Ball dropped, but being maintained by Widnes. Ah, there's a forward pass. 10 minutes gone. Hull Kingston Rovers 4, Widnes 18. Well, we've got a sub warming up. Just who it will be, I don't know. Halfway line. There's a moment in every match which turns things one way against the other, and this moment is arriving soon for LKR to get back into the match at 18-4.
This is Paul Proctor, and he's come straight out of the Colts. And if he's going to make in this game, he'll have to put him on pretty early because time is running out very quickly.
Running with great confidence, of course. It'll be interesting to see where they used Proctor. There's certainly one or two positions where they've been a little quiet. Smith and Hogan, not seen the best of them as yet. Just a little slowness about the pace at this moment.
Well, I think Hull Kingston have more or less saying to themselves, what do we have to do? And they obviously have to do a lot more than they're doing now. A lot of the players seem to be hanging their heads down, and they've got to contribute more to this game.
Yeah. Yes, all movements at the moment are all very slow, aren't they?
They're very, very slow indeed, and you find out that when he make a move and when he run with the ball, there's one man supporting.
Roy Ulster. Sun shining. Oh, nice move. Paul Harkin looked to have the opening available. And the ball has been lost, but restored is the word, I think. 25 yards line. Now this could be an interesting situation, but he stayed on the wing a little too soon, I thought. Prescott, Eric Prescott, 3 tries. Not today, but 3 tries. And the ball lost but retained by David Watkinson. Steve Crooks. Now that was a good hard tackle. Whilst we were watching that, the trainer had been on and off. David Hartley. 18 points to 4. Now this could bounce right. Darling hits the ball and then lost it, but retained it, and this is a moment, if they can get back into the game and try and go. Yes, no, Phil Lowe. Could be the moment. It's got to have one moment, but 3-2 there. The cover defence is very good, actually. Mike Smith. Bit of a slow pass in, but this could be it. Oh, and it is it. It's a try. 15 minutes. Chris Burton. Well, after all that endeavour, now Kingston Rovers 7.
Which is a very, very good try from Old Kingston. Len Casey does a magnificent job here. He runs, he takes the man on. There's no try on, but he just holds the ball to the vital second. And Chris Burton, that's good supporting play, and that's a very, very good try. Very badly needed, and very urgently needed as far as Old Kingston are concerned. Maybe it'll give them that little bit of extra spark, which they certainly need.
Well, his first ever try. Burton, the one try, and must feel very happy, even though it only takes a score 18-7. It shows what can be done, and it's there. So now has it opened up the game? Well, Roger Millward telling the sub to come on.
Well, this is here again. If you watch the play the ball, it all starts from a play the ball. It's a quick play the ball. There's no try on when the ball is played. All stock a good ball, all a good ball. But just watch what Len Casey does. He holds the ball to the exact split second, and Chris Burton supporting is a very good try indeed.
Well, substitute number 14, Paul Proctor, and Steve Crooks going off. 17 minutes gone, OKR 9, Widnes 18. Can it be done?
Well, anything can be done if you keep trying, and Old Kingston will just get that little bit left now, which they've needed.
Running with a lot of pace. Well, that's a very good running and a little bit more confident.
Well, that little bit of spark we've been talking about, you see, and just the end product, which Peter Muscroft, he'll be very disappointed. He's put a lot of balls down today, and this is his first game at Wembley, which can be expected.
I've seen him a few times at Hull Kingston and scored some very good tries, but he's certainly not as happy here as he was on that occasion.
Well, he's got the ability, but on the day he's just not putting it together, and it could be a lot of things, nerves, and it could be just this Wembley pitch.
Well, Proctor's gone to full back, and Hall to lead forward. Moves forward, and Casey to prop. The referee's showing he's going to be the boss. He's not going to have any monkeying and messing about. Ooh, that was a wooster of a pack. And the Rovers fans now are giving all they've got, vocal-wise. Well taken. And the pass has once again been lost at the last second. Steve Hartley and Steve Hubbard. Looks as if I thought that was going to have a good finish there.
Well, that was a beautiful break by Steve Hartley, and you must take chances like that in cup finals. And Steve Hubbard will be very disappointed because the pass was a good pass. He should take it, and it would have put them right back in this game.
Well, OKR getting the scrums 9-3. Lockwood and Casey, two of the most experienced men in the business. And Lowe having a word or two. So Len Casey and Brian Lockwood facing a chat with the referee, who I must say seems to have had a very good match indeed. At least he managed to stop anything that looked dangerous, political-wise and otherwise.
I think he's just saying to them, last year you was teammates, today it's different, but we're having none of that. And he's right on the spot, Jerry Kershaw, and he's certainly stamping all that kind of nonsense out.
The big thing now, of course, is ball possession as far as Hull Kingston are concerned. But they've got a good hooker, 20 down, 20 to go. Very experienced side. Widnes being well coached. And of course, always looking for the openings. Rarely miss one. Picking for touch, and it will probably, we're going to say it'll probably run into touch, but it doesn't. A bit of hardness going on in the tackling, but it's getting a little bit keen, a little bit of hardness.
Well, I think you're finding that Old Kingston have got to come back in this game and they've got to compete, and it's a pity they've just left it a little bit late and to do it.
Losing the ball at vital moments. And the sun is shining. The score is 18-9, and Widnes in possession. Half dummy. And taken by the 25-yard line. McAdams. I thought he was letting the ball go in there, but of course it was gone to an opponent. So the position is a dangerous one. Well taken. Still willing to move the ball about. Scrums, by the way, are 9-4. How do you reckon it's going at this moment?
Well, this is a very important scrum.
This is important.
Very, very important now. Old Kingston have got to put everything into it. They've nothing to lose now, and they've got to have another score. And the way they're winning the scrums, they're certainly having no excuse. They're getting plenty of ball. They're winning the scrums 9-4, but they're just dropping it at the final time.
Yes, the half-time score was 11-4. It's now 18-9. 17 minutes to go. Somebody without possession was rolled over and on the Widnes side, and there's an injured player on the Hull Kingston side, and it's captain Len Casey that had been attended to. Keith Bentley, full back. Mike Burns. Two to one. Stuart Wright hasn't had an awful lot of running to do.
No, he's not had a lot of running chances, but the Widnes are finding with this quick play of the ball. They're drawing Hull Kingston into the centre of the field, and if you just look outside, Phil Lowe, and there's plenty of gaps out there, and Mick Adams is almost certain to spot these.
Yes, it's evident where they're taking the positions, going to the first man, Gockel. Oh, nice little run. Nice to keep the ball in play. They could have been in trouble if that last pass had been taken.
Well, he's a cheeky little fella, this fella, and he has a go. He's not too worried about it. He doesn't care who they are. He's in charge, and he's enjoying himself out there, Andrew Gregory.
Right struck. "15 minutes to go. Is there going to be a sensation here at Wembley? Sensation on the fight back that would be necessary by Kingston Rovers, and particularly Steve Hubbard, who, when we've covered their matches, usually gets a few tries. But today, Widnes shown a lot of skill. Six tackle, pulling back, Widnes against in the dark swords. They should just come in.
This is what we've been saying, so near and yet so far away. The final pass been put on the ground, and you can't afford to give Widnes possession in these situations.
No, they're well trained, of course, and a lot of experience at the right points of the team.
Well, they're a very, very good professional side, and experienced man like Brian Lockwood, who has actually equalled my record today of playing with 3 different clubs and winning 3 medals,
right.
3 winners' medals. I presume they're going to win this one.
Well, we shall see. Kingston Rovers 9, Widnes 18. 13 minutes to go. And the score again, 18-9. You can see the work of the front 3 men. Well, if Widnes win, they will equal Wigan's record of 6 at Wembley. Had a good game for Smith. And Kingston are producing just about the best football that had there from them.
Well, they're now beginning to support the man. They're running a lot better than what they were. There's more confidence. But when it comes to the end, it's just that last pass, and this is the difference between the sides. Widnes are holding the ball and playing the 6 tackles, and Old Kingston are putting a lot of balls and wasting a lot on the floor.
The early start and getting the try after 3 minutes helped to put them on the road to success, and doing a repeat performance at the start of the second half. Blackburn opened the shop and then shut it, but still retained possession. Eddie Canning. There's Goalie. Eric Prescott gets the ball across, still in possession, ducking, dodging, getting good. Well, it's about 4-2, and still going. McGeorge. This could be the killer. 18 points to 9. Defence is there, but is it good enough to keep them out of the moment? The answer is yes, with the 6th tackle coming up. Kingston Rovers on the line, moving up. A nice little kick and a chase. Nearly missed it. He went close then.
He must have been keeping both his fingers crossed then, because that was a very, very intelligent kick by McAdams. And I would just like to say, what a tremendous game this fella's having.
John Millington is coming on for Holdstock. Millington and Holdstock. Ray Holdstock. Hull Kingston 9, Widnes 18, 10 minutes to go. Well, Hull Kingston having changed their props. It's just to see what, if anything, can break down the strong Widnes pressure. It was pushed back. .25 yards line. Well, one wants him one way, the others want him the other way. And let's see what the tactics are now. You're going to have a drop, going to have a drop, but it doesn't come off. But it's worth having a drop, isn't
Well,
it?
it's a very important time to drop goals, but he knows that he's going to keep Hull Kingston in their own 25. He's thinking all the time, this fella. And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't win the Lancelot Trophy. I think he's had a great game.
So John Myler coming on for Eddie Cunningham. Well, the referee allowed advantage there. There's goal. Comes from Cumberland. McAdams. I've told you that he got the captain and the effervescent Bentley looking for a chance. 18-5. Now then, the doors partly open, turned into a cover. Two players on the ground, but the game goes on. Not far out. Lost possession. Well, Dougie Lawton with his red rose in, was he feeling pretty happy about things?
Well, I think Dougie will be happy to hear the whistle go, even though Kingston are way behind, but you never know in this game, and he knows that this game is not finished until that final whistle.
18-9. Some minutes to go.
Well, as you can see now that Hull Kingston are real throwing caution to the wind. They're throwing the ball about. There's more people in support, but Widnes are going to make a substitution. I think they're going to take Eddie Cunningham off and bring John Myler on, and this will be a great occasion for this lad. He'll really savour the flavour of this game, and it's nice to see a young boy being given a chance. And Eddie Cunningham going up, having a sit down, thinking he's done his part. Few congratulations.
This is a chance for something to be achieved. 6 minutes to go. Well, it's going to be a bit of a grandstand finish, which no doubt the Robins will feel somewhat happier, but whether they're sufficiently so, that was very close.
Well, he was trying to say him, come inside, I'll hold it for you, but he just couldn't read it.
Well, all this effort, even if it's a consolation try, showing the ball cleverly. Len Casey. To go. Smith, 3 tacklers.
Well, Kingston are certainly not going down without a fight. I think they're just throwing everything at Widnes, but there's always somebody there to take the last man, and he just cannot penetrate this Widnes defence.
Well, certainly the Rovers have come more into their own in the second half with since the change of the pack formation.
I think making John Millington on, he's put a bit extra weight in the pack, and they're beginning to run with a lot more confidence, what they have been doing.
A relief penalty. Well, they've survived a lot at both teams now, with end-to-end stuff. 4 minutes to go. .25 yards line. 9 OKR. Do you think at this stage that the score gives a true indication of the match with only 2 minutes to go?
I certainly think that Widnes deserve to be in front. I certainly think they've been the best team this afternoon. They've angled the ball better, they've supported the man better, and I think that this moment in time the score is justified.
Well, interesting viewpoint. Well, the Widnes fans now are all ready to celebrate. 3 minutes to go, 18 points to 9. LKR 9, Widnes 18. I keep talking about grandstand finishers and grandstand startings. Well, this is a match that will be talked about, not the greatest ever, but certainly will be talked about, and some entertaining rugby. Now the master, Brian Lockwood, to the young master, Keith Elwell. And the sun comes out. The sunman comes on with a sponge. 2 minutes to go. We're going to have another score before the match ends. Somebody. Yes, no goal. Goal. And on the trainer's bench, we've got a sub warming up. Linshaw, OKR 9, against 18. Linshaw on the red carpet, being taken down the sideline. Yes, you can come on. Mike O'Neill and Linshaw. Do you think this is an obvious ploy to bring somebody on to have a cup final
I think it's very good tactics to bring Glenshaw on at this stage of the game. He's a very experienced forward and he's a very good forward. But what a game young O'Neill has had for a young boy of 20.
Yes, he's had his rare baptismal. It's very good.
I think the biggest problem is going to be now for Old Kingston is can they pick themselves up? Can they continue to go into this game? They're throwing the ball about now, and they're just saying, well, come on, we're not going down without a fight.
No, the last 20 minutes they've done very well indeed, but of course the clash tries unnerved them at one or two occasions. But we're near to the whistle or the hooter. If he kicks it, if he kicked that ball, it could have been a sensational try.
Well, they tell me Burke used to be a very, very good footballer, and you can see where it came into practice then. I don't know whether he was a goalkeeper or not, but he certainly went down on that quick enough. Just listening to the Widnes supporters, I actually tipped Old Kingston, and I suppose I'll be getting quite a lot of fan mail again.
And we're into injury time. Okay. Mick Burke has won the Leinster Trophy. Is there going to be an end try? No. And there goes the hooter. And there, at 10, the Leinster Trophy winner, Hull Kingston Rovers 9, Widnes 18, and Mick Burke getting the award. Well, it's been an interesting match, Alex.
Well, I think Widnes have thoroughly deserved the victory. I think they've played as a team. I think they've known what it's been all about. They've competed, they've done nothing silly, and Old Kingston really must be disappointed to realise they've saved one of the worst performances for the most important time of the season.
Well, Lockwood coming on, and no doubt a very happy man. When I spoke to him about a fortnight ago, he said we're going to win that one. Well, they're now going to celebrate.
Well, that's nice. You don't often see that. They've been having a go at each other, they've been niggling each other, but at the end of the game, it's all forgotten. Come on, I'll buy you pints. And what a game this fella's had, this Mick Adams. No wonder he's hugging him. I think they should give him the town hall clock when he gets back to Widnes.
Well, Mick Burke, who scored 11 of Widnes' 18 points, set it up. The first try after 3 minutes, and then after 7, and then in the second half we just had one try on each side, just summing the tries up. Alex?
Well, I think it was a very important start. We started with a very, very good try from Mick Burke, and straight afterwards Mick George, followed by a got goal by Adams, a try by Andy Gregory, and really it was plain sailing. And then there again, one from Burke.
Certainly the match had a lot, and Widnes were changing around at the moment. Widnes, Cup Kings, well, nobody's going to argue with that, except of course Hull Kingston Rovers. But it's been an interesting match, and Mick Adams goes up, followed by Keith Alwell. Well, what's happening there? Mick Adams now comes up and being presented to Group Captain Sir Douglas Barder, CBE, DSO, DFC, and a great sportsman. I'm sure he's enjoyed it. Oh, well. That wouldn't happen in your day.
It just shows that these lads say they don't feel the tension, but you saw a little bit on Mick Adams' face then. And what about this little fella? Who'd have thought, or did he ever think that he'd be playing and getting a winner's medal at Wembley this year? Great man with the Lance Todd, Burke, he's had a tremendous game.
Well, there's smiles all the way around. There's going to be a lot of celebration tonight.
Those are very important.
Eric
He looks a bit like
he's doing his entertainment.
Eric will not worry what he looks like. He really enjoyed that medal. It's his first trip.
As if he went down doing the double as he went down. that shows how pleased he is.
Well, this is Stuart Wright. He likes angling this. This is a nice little moment for him. We've done it again, lads. And here's the losers, and what a great game, and what a great round of applause they're getting.
Well, a great sporting occasion, and they applaud it from their opponents, and yet no doubt very disappointed. Steve Hubbard, Phil Lowe didn't get off to his usual start, didn't Phil. The Proctor came on late. Chris Burton yet has got a good try, but it was a bit too late to win the day. Dave Hall and the referee, who's had a very good match. I think Jerry Kesher's had a very good match, and so has his subs. Would you agree?
Well, he said he wanted to be involved in the game, and I think he's had an exceptionally good game. He's been on top of the play, he's made some very, very good decisions, and he's angled it very well. Yeah,
well, I'll certainly give him 100 out of 100, because I think he showed at the beginning to clamp down anywhere he worships Widnes.
Well, you can't say he don't talk about you in Widnes, Edward, because it's there in black and white.
Thanks, Sally.
Well, as you look at those scenes of Widnes holding up the Rugby League Challenge Cup, we bring you immediate news to put alongside that Aston Villa are the new champions of the Football League. The score that really has made them the champions is a final score from Ayresome Park, where Middlesbrough have beaten Ipswich 2-1. And those are the scenes you're looking at now at Arsenal, where Villa are the champions. I suspect they've lost the match. I don't know the final score. Yes, they have lost the match. But because Ipswich went down at Middlesbrough, Villa are the new champions today.
Well, there they go with the trophy and going to come round. It's the Rugby League 3-5 Challenge Cup being played for, and I've seen lots of great finals. This is not the greatest ever, but it's a final that brought a lot of joy and a lot of interest. What was your year at Wembley, Alex?
75, and it's a very enjoyable feeling when you cannot imagine that you cannot hear 100,000 people shouting, but they can hear them now, and they're really playing to them.
And just breaking in, the fans, behind. Congratulations to Widnes. That's very nice coming from Hull Kingston Rovers fans, and there they are. Well, these are the losers you're looking at, but they're really going to town. Quite a nice sight.
Well, you said there's no enjoyment in losing. Maybe they don't like losing, but the spectators are giving a great reception there.
Well, there are the winners from their lap of honour. No qualms about the ultimate result.
Well, this lap of honour won't be as hard as what they've been used to.
Well, now let's switch venues once again and go to Highbury. Aston Villa may have lost the match. In fact, they have by 2-0, but they have won the championship. John Watson.
Yes, extraordinary scenes here, because Aston Villa, let me say straight away, were well beaten in this match by an Arsenal side, as you might expect, played awfully well and qualified for next season's UEFA Cup with 2 goals in the first half, one by Willie Young and one by young Brian McDermott just before half-time. Aston Villa never looked like getting back into the match. Arsenal played them awfully well, but of course the Villa fans who are celebrating on the pitch at the moment had their ears to the transistor radios, and the news that Middlesbrough were able to beat Ipswich really left them in a mood of celebration at the end of a very strange afternoon. I say strange because the game we've seen here, if you think about it, has had no relevance at all on the final destiny of the title, because that bank of supporters are celebrating the fact that their nearest rivals got beaten on the day when Villa themselves thought they required just 1 point. as I say, they never really looked like getting that here. Arsenal were psyched up for this one. They played awfully well. Brian Talbot and Des Bremner injured in a clash of heads, but no other major incidents. Arsenal good winners, but Aston Villa champions for the first time for 71 years.
You're watching live grandstand pictures of the settling of two great championships. That was Highbury, this is Wembley, that is Widnes and the Rugby League Cup.
Well, the interesting thing is they meet again on Wednesday night at Hull in the Slalom Lager Premiership Trophy, so there's going to be great doings again, but the venue will be different. It looks a little bit tired there.
Well, I think that the tiredness will be put aside while they do this lap of honour. It's been rightly deserved. I think they've had a tremendous final. All credit to them, and they've thoroughly deserved the victory, and this lap of honour will go down like honey.
18 points to 9, Widnes the winners. They got the first 2 tries in the first half, then one in the second half. And it looks as if it was going to be an easy one. Hull Kingston Rovers fought back, and there they are now in this lovely situation where winners can laugh and losers, well, it's how it goes.
Well, there they are, and some of these lads now just waving to their loved ones and friends and saying, "We told you so, we could do it." And probably, who knows, they may be back again here next year. Well, it's a very, very young side, and all the...
Brian Lockwood did a penchant for having new hats and caps.
Well, we're now leaving Wembley for a moment. We'll have pictures and interviews with the players, the triumphant players, in just a moment. But in fact, we're going to Preston, where Swansea have won 3-1 and are promoted to the First Division. Desmond Lynham.
Tremendous scenes here at Deepdale, Frank, but the scenes are all for Swansea City. It's taken them 61 years of league experience to do it, but they're in the First Division. It was no easy task, though. They got off to a good start after 24 minutes when Leighton James scored. Tommy Craig put them 2 up 3 minutes later. It looked fairly plain sailing at that stage, but in the second half, Preston, who of course needed the points, there's John Toshak, who's lifted this club from 4th Division to 1st in just over 3.5 years. Preston, as I say, made a real fight of it in the second half, pulled a goal back through Alex Bruce, but Jeremy Charles, the son of Mel, the nephew of the great John, made sure for Swansea right at the end after Preston had been pressing. Great moments for John Toshak. There's about 10,000 fans here from Swansea at Deepdale this afternoon, and history has been made for the Welsh club. The first Welsh club in the First Division in 19 years since Cardiff City came out of it.
Well, marvellous news for Swansea, but on the other end of the scale, bad news tonight for Norwich, because they've gone down at home 2-3. Leicester beat them, and Norwich are now relegated. Well, we now switch back to Rugby League. Down in the tunnel, Tony Gubber.
Well, with me now, the Widnes coach, Dougie Lawton, Mick Burke, the scorer of the first try, who's got the Lance Todd Man of the Match award, and Mick George also got the second try. First of all, a word from you, Doug. Marvellous performance by Widnes.
Yeah, it's probably one of our best performances ever, and very entertaining game. And I think we won on merit, and the lads played it hard. They didn't do anything dirty. There's just, I do credit to the town, to everybody.
There seemed to be no moment, in fact, when it didn't look as though Widnes were going to win it.
I thought possibly had about 20 minutes in the second half, but I never thought we'd lose. And as I said, it was a credit to the game.
What about the man alongside you, who got that marvellous first try in 3 minutes? How did that go, Mick?
Actually, it was a quick movement off to the right. I got the short ball off Eric Hughes. Then I came across, and I saw Len Casey coming across. So that shows you now.
Talk us through it.
Well, Eric Hughes slippers a short ball, and I go down. I can see the cover coming across. So I thought I'll kick it. Dougie said he had them beat. Well, I just waited for the bounce and just I know why.
Magnificent. Alongside you, Mick George, who got the second try. You're a bookie, aren't you, Mick?
Correct.
What odds were you quoting on Widnes before the match?
I wasn't making any boot, tell you the truth. I'm too unlucky.
In fact, I'm told you do a marvellous impersonation of Michael O'Hare, don't you? What was his interpretation of it?
I'm too puffed.
Let's have a word with the captain, Mick Adams, the man who was trying to hide from me in the dressing room. Turn around, Mick.
Thank you.
You must be very proud.
Oh, very proud for the players. They've meant for both teams. I mean, you know, it wouldn't have been a game without Hull Kingston Rovers. For a minute, I thought they were going to come back, as they say.
Sure.
As they were playing a better football, but thankfully our players, a bit of experience sold in the end, I think, you know, with each one.
Where's little Andy Gregory? He's here. Come on, let's have him in. How are you, man? Hey, terrific. You didn't have much to say before the match. Have you got a bit more now?
Oh no, still stuck for words. It's unbelievable.
Now we're going to show you the try. Tell us about this.
I don't know. I don't know where it come from. I just. Is that Brian? Is that me?
Actually, with the ball now.
Did I run that far? How many was that? 6 or 7?
Terrific.
Your dad put you in again.
I must ask you, what are you going to do with the tooth?
Furbies are coming round tonight, I've heard, so I don't know what's happening.
The tooth's going under the pillow.
Yeah.
Is it? Terrific.
Well done. I'll be in bed, but.
Say thanks, Dickie. Dickie Davis.
Hey, now you were cheeky beforehand. Well done. Thanks very much indeed. Cheers. Back now to Frank.
Well, they're always marvellous scenes there down in the Tubble. Commentator today, of course, Eddie Waring, his last Rugby League Cup final. We wish him well. And Alex Murphy. Television presentation was by Nick Hunter. Well, now we switch, of course, to summarise what's been going on in football today. Aston Villa, the new champions. Norwich relegated by virtue of the fact, by the way, that Sunderland beat Liverpool today 1-0 and Brighton beat Leeds by 2-0. Here are the classified checks.
League Division 1. Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 0. Birmingham City 1, Everton 1. Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Leeds United 0. Liverpool 0, Sunderland 1. Manchester City against Crystal Palace, late kick-off. Middlesbrough 2, Ipswich Town 1. Norwich City 2, Leicester City 3. Nottingham Forest 1, Coventry City 1. Stoke City 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. West Bromwich Albion 4, Tottenham Hotspur 2. League Division 2, Bolton Wanderers 0, Luton Town 3. Bristol Rovers 0, Blackburn Rovers 1. Cambridge United 5, Grimsby Town 1. Cardiff City 0, Derby County 0. Chelsea 0, Notts County 2. Newcastle United 3, Orient